Like I said at the top, shame on me. I went into this weekend not wondering or not thinking we would have something to talk about with the Cowboys because they 12.5-point favorite against the Arizona Cardinals. Should have seen this coming. As somebody who's been around the Cowboys for a very long time, absolutely should have seen this coming. I don't think it's because Trayvon Diggs got injured on Thursday. I don't think it's about injuries on the offensive line. Yes, the Cowboys were without 3 different starters, Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, and Zach Martin all sit out of this game. I just think it's always something with the Dallas Cowboys, whether you want to say they were feeling themselves too much, reading their headlines too much. But at the end of the day, I still think this Arizona Cardinals team is one of the more talent poor rosters in the NFL. It's a team that the Cowboys should beat, even with all of those problems. And they didn't just lose to the Cardinals. They got thoroughly dominated. Cardinals ran for 222 yards in this game. They had 400 yards of offense. Dallas defense, which we've spent the last 2 weeks praising to no end. I said on this very show a few days ago, maybe you won't be truly special without Trayvon Diggs, but you'll still be really good. They looked completely hopeless in this game. Couldn't get a stop in the first half. And even by the time they started slowing down Josh Dobbs and the Arizona offense in the second half, it was way too late. Gashed on the ground. I'm absolutely at a loss for how you give up. What's the stat tally? 7.5 yards per carry on the ground. We knew the Dallas run defense wasn't incredible, but this is something else entirely. Offense, incredibly forgettable day as well. I do put this loss more on the defense. Again, I firmly believe that Dallas has, or maybe had, I guess we'll see, the type of defense that can carry them in the vast majority of their games. 28 points on the ground and 400 yards to one of the easiest teams left on their schedule is not going to cut it. But some similar problems arise for the Dallas offense as well. They go 1 of 5 in the red zone. The explosive passing game was not there all day. Aside from a deep shot to Michael Gallup and another long gainer to CeeDee Lamb, Cowboys had to work for every single thing they got, dinking and dunking down the field. The explosive element of this offense we thought we were going to see with Brandon Cooks just hasn't been there. I know Brandon Cooks missed week 2 with a knee injury, but he was out there this week, and you just don't see an explosive big play type of offense. If Tony Pollard can't break it off himself, it's not coming from the passing game. And of course, the highlight that'll get shown and shown and shown again on TV this week as we have our weekly debate about how good or bad Dak Prescott is. He throws an interception in the end zone that kills off any chance of a comeback. Cowboys could have scored to cut the lead to 3 or 4 points. Maybe you have a shot at a miracle win like the Giants had in Arizona last week, but it just doesn't materialize. 16 points, 1 of 5 in the red zone, and I've already bemoaned the defensive performance. Did I mention the penalties? Did I mention how absolutely undisciplined this team looked? 13 penalties for 107 yards. I believe 10 of those were in the first half alone. I don't know if that's an NFL record, but my God, was it tedious to watch. And that's how you blow a game as a 12.5-point favorite. Even up until the final 4 or 5 minutes, it looked like the Cowboys had enough juice in the tank to drag this thing over the finish line. Again, the way the New York Giants did just last week. Cardinals get the job done. Can't say enough about them. I just spent 5 minutes bemoaning the Cowboys, blaming the Cowboys, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. This was an atrocious performance in all 3 aspects. Even special teams had a long punt return called back by a flag. But man, through 3 weeks, the Cardinals might be 1-2. They've absolutely played well enough to be 2-1. Josh Dobbs looks like a guy. 120 quarterback rating, 17 of 21 for 189 yards. Again, they ran for 222 yards as a team. They were moving up and down the field in the first half. They jumped all over the Cowboys 15-3 before it even felt like the game had started. Again, maybe they'll deny it, maybe they'll downplay it, but it sure felt like the Cowboys have spent the last 2 weeks listening to everybody tell them how amazing they are. Meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinals don't seem to be aware that everyone thinks they're tanking. They have been a nightmare for all 3 teams that they've played. They finally get on the board with a win against the best team that they've played this year. I can't say enough about it. And to close the door on them, like I said, the Cowboys, they made a rally. They get down on the goal line 5 times in this game. Got to work on that red zone offense if you're the Cowboys. But The Cowboys cut it to 21-16 again. The whole second half, the defense is playing better. It feels like the Cowboys are switching the momentum. The more talented team is finally winning out, and it's just a matter of when they pull ahead. And what do the Cardinals do? They get the ball with 9.5 minutes to play in the fourth. First play, 69-yard gain. Second play, 5-yard gain up the middle to Zach Ertz, and then they punch it in the end zone. They only need 4 plays to go 76 yards and really put their foot down on the Cowboys' throats. Can't say enough about that from a team that's lacking for leaders in a lot of key spots. Yeah, you have Zach Ertz, but again, Josh Dobbs, his first real shot as a starter, hanging 28 points on this defense, only getting sacked twice. I can't say enough about it. I think that's the theme of this thing is Cowboys forgot that you have to actually show up and play to win in this league, and the Arizona Cardinals are completely oblivious to how many people have written them off coming into this season. It's a very impressive performance by them. Shouts out to Jonathan Gannon. I don't think anybody's said anything nice about the guy since the Eagles lost the Super Bowl back in February, but he's got his team ready to play. I don't know how good their record's going to be, but they look like a team that's going to be a pain in the butt for every single team that they play. They were more than that for the Cowboys. They beat the crap out of them, and it was incredibly shocking, incredibly impressive. And now we see where the Cowboys go from here. I don't think we're changing our opinions about what the Cardinals are, but this is the type of performance that can change your opinion about what happens with the Cowboys. The schedule doesn't get any easier over the next 3 weeks. We're going to learn a lot about their resolve as they move forward and try to shake this one off.